Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta and Goku were set to face the biggest challenge of all time: 180 playable characters on one singular roster. Could they face them all alone? Find out now on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another review. This time around, we're here to review Bandai Namco and Spike Chunsoft's Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So I want to first off, of course, give a really big shout out to Bandai Namco and Spike Chunsoft for giving me the opportunity of reviewing this game. Dragon Ball is very near and dear to my heart, and as you heard at the beginning, I kind of did my best narration. I know there were multiple different narrators over time, but I wanted to give kind of a heartfelt shout out to Doc Harris, who has passed away about the time that early access for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero started. And he was the original narrator for the English dub of Dragon Ball. And, you know, over the last few years, we've lost some good people in the Dragon Ball creative space, you know, with Chris Aries and, of course, Akira Toriyama. It's been a really kind of sad past few years of seeing these people that made Dragon Ball what it was pass away. And having a game like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is a really great way of showcasing the love and the love that not just Bandai Namco has for this series, but also that these developers have. And it's a really good way of continuing on the legacy that they've really built for quite some time with this series. So, as somebody that has watched and loved Dragon Ball since it was originally debuted in North America, I've got to say Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is something very special, with multiple different styles of play, ways to play the game, ways to customize your character, and ways to experience the Dragon Ball universe. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is something unique and something I think is somewhat of a fresh kind of take on Dragon Ball games. Now, we have, of course, had like Dragon Ball Fighter Z and some other different style of Dragon Ball games come out over the last few years. The Dragon Ball Sparking Zero takes things to a new level, and one of those reasons it takes it to a new level is Spike Chunsoft's attention to detail with the Unreal Engine 5. So this is their first game to use Unreal Engine 5, and it is such a beautiful experience from start to finish because of this amazing engine that they're using. The stylization, art style, gameplay, and everything, how it just beautifully merges together with the gameplay and the anime and the anime-esque thing. I mean, it feels like we're seeing Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT moments play out in front of our eyes in an interactive space. And it is something that is truly a gorgeous, fantastic experience. There's so many times that I was playing some of these battles or playing some of these episodic moments or playing in the world tournament or just having fun. And as you can see here, playing characters that you would probably never see fight in this universe, especially at the time being, just taking them on and experiencing such like a cool animation style. We saw some of this really crazy animation style in Dragon Ball Fighter Z, but this is taking things to the next level. It's a pure merger of 3D animation, hand-drawn animation, and of course, really kind of showcases how powerful the Unreal Engine 5 is and what it can do for the gaming space. So with Dragon Ball Sparking Z, I've got to say there were some really great things that I really loved about this game. First and foremost, I got to say 180 playable characters on one roster is unbelievable. It's really a great way of kind of showcasing what we should see in fighting games. Day one, guys. Day one. 180 characters. And then, of course, with the season pass, there's 20 plus new characters that are coming. There's, I think, new story aspects, new levels that you're going to be able to play as well. It's a really kind of crazy thing to wrap your head around when you look at what is available day one. I mean, now mind you, when we're speaking of 180 characters, we're also speaking of characters that are multiple versions of singular characters. But this really is different, though, as well, because each one of these characters have their own specialities. Each one of these characters have their own move sets, their own finishing moves, and more. So it's a really unique experience from start to finish. No matter your style of play or what you really like to focus on, whenever it comes down to, you know, even in fighting games or Dragon Ball Z in general, you have many different ways of playing. So in these modes that you have available at your disposal, you have the episodic battles, the bonus battles, custom battles, and the world library. So this is mainly where I focused a good chunk of my time at the beginning. Of course, with the episodic battles, I wanted to kind of get the cinematic aspect of things, see where they were going with this, what type of story they were going to tell, if it was just going to be tidbits that we've seen before in previous Dragon Ball games in the series, or if it was going to take kind of a different loop on things. And one thing that's great about this is that they also have bonus battles that offer high level story battles with unique conditions. And most of the times in that perspective, it actually gives you the opportunity of choosing different choices than what was originally chosen in the series itself. So you get to see different aspects of the battle, but custom battles is really crazy. So custom battles, you actually get to edit your own battle yourself, and you can like remix certain battles, change up the different styles, and then you can upload them on the server and people can download them and play whatever. So there was a couple of battles that I downloaded from the community, and I thought they were pretty cool. I thought that was a really great aspect and a great addition to, of course, the aspect of, you know, I guess character or content creation that they had. So with the mode connectivity aspect of things, tied to the episode, you get to unlock additional character campaigns. You also get progression in the campaigns, progression in the campaigns completes tasks with the Zenos and Whis' challenges. So you can actually do these challenges and stuff like that by the Zenos and by Whis. And when you do that, you actually get special gifts and stuff from the Zenos and Whis. But these battle modes are really crazy, and it was a really, really fun aspect of things. So not only do you get to, as you get this, or as you play these things, you get unlocked XP, but it's mainly focused around Zenny that you get. And the Zenny that you get, you can actually go over to the shop and buy either different characters that have been locked that you haven't had a chance to play as of yet, or you can buy capsules, you can buy costumes, voice packs, background music, CPU customization items, which are, characters or whatever. And then also you can get player card backdrops and all this different stuff. So you can also customize the abilities, the ability items, costumes, CPU settings, emotions, fusions, and background music for characters in your roster, which is really, really crazy. Now, another mode that I really enjoyed as well was the encyclopedia. So the encyclopedia is actually just a reviewer. Like, you actually get to go in, check out the 3D models of the characters and stuff, but there's an option to where you can hear girl talk, and it is just Chi-Chi, Bulma, and Videl, commenting on these characters, and it is hilarious. It is really, really funny, and I thought that was a really cool add-on that honestly didn't need to be added, but I think they knew that the community would really just eat it up and love it. So something else as well is that you can have the ability of summoning Shenron, Porunga, and also Super Shenron with the Dragon Balls. So you have the ability of having in between 1 to 3 wishes with the Dragon Balls. You can get more Zenny, you can get the, unlock new characters, or you can change the game's difficulty. Now, the game's difficulty is something that has been surrounding this game, and I will say it is difficult at times, especially in the episodic battles. So fighting against, like Super Ape version, Vegeta was really rough. He was very, very powerful, to say the least. But there's other characters as well in the episodic sections that are really tough on just the base level. And I don't think it really matters even if you're a seasoned type of player. They're hard. So you do have to drop just get ready for it. I'm sure there's somebody out there that will play this game and not have to drop the difficulty by much. But if you're just a normal player or whatever, just get ready, because it's coming. You're going to have to drop the difficulty. I don't see how many people got past some of these characters, and that's even after I put hours and hours into the game trying to learn the gameplay mechanics as much as I possibly could. So you can customize your gameplay mechanics as well. The buttons that you choose to, either fuse or transform. It's very simple to change these up. One thing I will tell you that I did do on the PlayStation 5 to actually enhance my experience was turning off the motion blur. It made the game feel a lot more smooth in that perspective, and it also, to me, it just made the game look a little bit better overall. Now, one thing that I will talk about too that is not really I wouldn't say it's a really big kind of slash on this game, but it is something I have seen before in not just Bandai Namco games, but many other games. And it's these, it's these watermarks that they have on the games. So we're in an era now, just me particularly, this is just my opinion. We're in an era now of like constant content creation. Okay, so everybody wants to do content creation. Everybody wants to share stuff. Everybody wants to just have fun with their experience. So one thing that with this game, I don't have my PC connected with my console. I have the technology to have the stuff set up, but my Elgato actually went out, so I had to record most of my gameplay through just straight my PS5 for now, and until my new Elgato comes in. But when you're recording this gameplay, there is a Bird Studio, Toei Animation, Bandai Namco Entertainment Incorporated watermark that is on everything that you record. You take a picture, it's on the pictures. You take a recording, it's on the recording. So me particularly, I really did not like that. I understand that they've got to make sure to put their stamp on things to make sure for, copyright purposes and so on and so forth. But it was really irritating, dude. We're in such a mode of content creation. It's crazy. And there's certain scenes that you cannot record or share out and about because they'll get blocked, So as you're playing the game, there's certain scenes that pop up, and I'm sure they're doing it in the perspective of maybe trying to hold off from people getting certain things spoiled. But at the same time, it was scenes, even though I had the anime's music turned off and it was just the basic soundtrack, that it would still cut the recording to where I could not record my gameplay session at all on my console. And that's just, to me, that's just it's so old school. You know what I'm saying? It's so everybody wants to do content creation now. Everybody wants to be able to share their experiences, and sharing those experiences has a lot to do with sharing, gameplay that you're playing or whatever. And me, the way that I do things, I have my ways of doing things. I like to sit down in my living room and do a lot of my recording and stuff directly through my PlayStation 5, or through my PlayStation 5 through a easy recorder that I have set up in there that's directly, recording aspect of things. I don't know really what I'm trying to say here in that perspective, but it's something that I could literally just with a little remote through it's an AverMedia product, and I just record it, and then I take my gameplay back here. But there's even times that I recorded it on my AverMedia, which is supposed to bypass all this stuff, and it still showed up on there. The only times that I'm seeing online that it didn't really happen is if people had like an Elgato set up and it was connected through their PC, and then that watermark was gone. So I know that has nothing to do with a lot of the gameplay aspects of the game. This is just me sharing my opinion and my kind of hate for that type of thing. I don't like it whenever there is either a forced watermark or a forced stoppage of content creation. So that is one thing that really kind of hung me up. And of course, the other thing that hung me up was the game is difficult. So like I understand, it's not going to be easy. Not every game that you play is going to be easy. But there's some times in this game that it was like, holy shit, there's no possible way anyone beat this on their own without dropping the difficulty. Like, it was really, really rough. But what I will say about the game that is really great is the character customization. I love how you're able to literally build your character how you want to build him. I love the fact that you have the aspect of being able to customize episodes in this game as well. You can change things that have happened and then upload them and showcase them with the world. That's another thing that's just like, that's character customization and also scene customization, which is great for content creation. So that's where I'm kind of conflicted on that, is like, when it's shared this way, and when you don't have the ability of just being able to share your content with the world without either scenes being blocked or watermarks on there through console aspects, it to me, it's just a little irritating, and it just kind of feels a little outdated, to say the least. So outside of that, I will say that Bandai Namco has knocked it out of the park. To get off my little pedestal and get back to the gushing on this game, this is by far one of the best looking games that I have played in 2024. The frame rates were fantastic, the character movement, the gameplay mechanics. After you kind of get around that learning curve of the game, I will say it was much easier to pick up and just experience the world that Bandai Namco has created with Spike Chunsoft. Like, this game is unfreaking believable. Seeing characters like Bojack, or full-powered Bojack fighting against, Broly from Super, or seeing characters like Goku GT going against, Majin Buu, or, whatever. Even the newest character of the Goku Mini Daima series, seeing him going against Teen Goku, or Super Gogeta going against, some of these other characters that you've played, like Jiren. It's great. And the audio aspect of these characters as well, of like how they kind of react with each other, talk with each other. It's really, really cool, man. And I have to say, I know this is kind of putting things out on a pedestal with Bandai Namco, and I don't want to just sit here and just gush and just say how, like, yes, the game is really, really good. It does have its issues, especially in the perspective of, the difficulty settings. Like, the game is really difficult at times, and it's really, you have to learn a lot about the gameplay mechanics before you just jump right into the game. Because if you do just jump right into the game, you're gonna get your ass kicked. You're especially online. People online are just like next level, dude. Like, I can't even mess with them. But the gameplay mechanics are easy to get used to. But I do suggest, if you are new to this style of game, you are especially new to just Dragon Ball games in general, and you never played anything in the Budokai Tenkaichi series, I really suggest you do the Super Training, because it's going to give you a lot of insight on the gameplay mechanics and kind of show you where to go and what to do. Especially, you're going to need a lot of training before you get to grade 8 Vegeta. I'm just telling you that right now. Like, he is rough. He is really, really rough. And, there's other characters, of course, in the game that have I feel have the same exact difficulty. One of which was Jiren, final scene Jiren, or I would say Tournament of Power Jiren. Like especially at the end, after you get to the point of going full Ultra Instinct with Goku, he's pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie. And another character that I kind of ran into that was rough as well was Khalifa. Khalifa, I would probably say Khalifa or Kefla. Kefla, whenever you fight Kefla in the game, just normal settings, she's pretty rough as well. But with that said, the characters in the game are represented better than they've ever been represented before. With Unreal Engine 5, the game looks spectacular. I'm talking about utterly spectacular. And I really can't wait to see this DLC that comes out that I'm sure is going to have either Dragon Ball Daima stuff in it, or it's going to have Dragon Ball superhero stuff in it, because I need to see, Goku Ultimate, Wolf or whatever he is. I can't even remember the name of the character, but I need to see him. I need to see superpowered Piccolo. That's who I need on this roster to get it to the point. Like, that's another thing that you have to think of. We're going to eventually have 200 characters on one singular roster. And the fact that this game dropped day one with 180 available is crazy to me, dude. Like, you don't get to play with 180 right out of the box because you have to kind of go through the motions of the story or whatever else to get your Zenny so you can unlock them. But they're really not that expensive. Like, it's not like you have to have a level 200 character with 1 million Zenny to unlock all these characters. But it is a really, really fantastic experience from start to finish. It is one of my favorite Dragon Ball games of all time. And this Dragon Ball game showcases not just the culmination of years of Dragon Ball, but it brings me back to my childhood, brings me back to what is great about the Dragon Ball series in general. And it's just having fun and just being amazed by these unbelievable scenes that Toriyama kind of conceptualized over these years, dragged into this amazing series over the last 20, 30 years of my life that I was able to see on television and now live in a visual representation that I love even more than I've ever loved before. So great graphics, great gameplay, great roster, tough battles, to say the least. I also, of course, as I said, I really don't like I understand it's a copyright thing, but I don't like the fact that people can't share certain aspects of this game directly from console without being, either their gameplay stopping from recording and them not being able to share certain scenes, and also the watermark. Like, I understand it's a thing that has to be done, but it just kind of put a little bit of a salt in the wound for me at that time. So, like I said, this is a really great experience that I think any fighting game fan will love. And if you're an anime fan, even if you don't like Dragon Ball, you've got to check this game out. I'm telling you, this should excite many anime fans, because if Bandai Namco continues with using the Unreal Engine 5, they're going to be like next level already, more than what they're at now. I mean, this game is breathtakingly delicious looking. Like, it is so good looking, and it feels so great, especially when you get around that kind of learning curve of things. It's just one of the best games I've played in recent years, and for sure the best Dragon Ball game on the marketplace. So I am going to give this game a 4.5 out of 5. As I said, the game is amazing, but kind of what holds it back, of course, the little watermark issue. That's not really something that I feel affected the score, but what did affect the score is it's really difficult. Like, holy shit, it's really difficult. I've been trying to hold back from being super on point on that, but like, it's really difficult at times. So you really have to learn a lot about the play styles, and you have to time it perfectly. And when you are prompted to lower the difficulty, there's times that like you lower the difficulty and it doesn't feel like the difficulty is lowered. So, as I said, though, we're giving this a 4.5 out of 5. We hope you enjoyed this video review. Come back soon for our review of SpongeBob SquarePants and the Patrick Star game, and many other reviews coming soon. I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace out.